Right guys, this one is almost exclusively for the visually impaired. So, we're looking at a tactile site. There's a few versions on the market, but generally speaking, they're all exactly the same. Now this one is available through British Blind Sports. I don't know where you guys are, but I'm sure there's somebody somewhere in your area that can get you one. They start from, I think it's £21 up to 29, I think, depending on, there's 3 different versions, all basically the same. If you want one with the plate already attached, I think that's an extra tenner. So basically from 21 to £39 for the site, depending on what you want. And basically all it is, it's windage adjustable. Now the elevation adjustment comes from your bog standard tripod, just by simply winding up and down the tripod. That gives you your elevation, because that plate there is a standard camera plate for a tripod. Available on Amazon, I think they're £5 for 2, so they're not expensive. Right, the site itself consists of a bar with a slotted bar with a 2 locking nuts. You have to supply that one yourself to lock it to the plate, unless you buy it with the plate attached. And then you have a fine adjustment that gives you wind adjustment, coarse windage adjustment, and fine adjustment by rotating this bar. Now rotating the bar gives you 1.5 millimeters adjustment in or out, depending on the direction you rotate it, and then you lock it in place with that one. Simple as, dead simple. Now the way you use them, the whole point of them, is you mount it in the standard bipod, lock it all in place, and then the tripod, would be pinned down to the ground using 10 pegs. You can actually buy adapters for the feet, in line with the target and your stance. So basically, get somebody to help you. You would line yourself up with the target, as you would normally, usually with your sighting companion, and then they would line you up, and then they would line this up between you and the target. So if the target's over there, so I'll get a bow. Do it with a bow, just to be right. So the target's over there. I'm lined up with the target. I've marked my feet. I've seen people do this as easily as a couple of 10 pegs at the toes. So you line your toes up, line yourself up with the target, and then you would extend your arm to your draw. So you're all lined up, and then your assistant, whoever's helping you, so you line up, and then your assistant or whoever's helping you would simply move the tripod into place so it lines up with your centre knuckle, and then they put pins in the ground, 10 pegs in the ground to hold it in place, or hang a weight off it to hold it in place so it doesn't move. And then each time you come up to shoot after that, you line yourself up with your feet on the marks on the floor, and extend your arm forward, and you just simply find the bar with the back of your hand. Now it gives you a certain amount of elevation by dropping and raising from one knuckle to the other, but most people will just sit it on the centre knuckle, get everything lined up, and then they stay there. And then it's down to you having the confidence to know that when your hand is there and your feet are at the marks on the floor, that you are completely lined up. And then it's just a case of drawing back to your anchor, anchoring in the right place, making sure you're all lined up, thinking about what you're doing, hand in the right place, anchor in the right place, shoulders, elbows, hips, legs, feet, all aligned, and now you're happy with all that, you loose the shot. And if you've done it all correctly, you find gold. Simple as that. It says knowingly. Right, so that's that explained. So I think the next thing to do is actually take it downstairs and see if we can actually use it to hit the target. Right, so we have a slotted bar with a screw going through into the camera plate. You can actually put another, you can drill out the locating pin in the plate and put another bolt in there if you wish to, but it's fairly secure, it's not going anywhere. Right, where are we? Right, locking nut there, that locks the rotating bar in place. And as you see, it's a round steel bar. So nice and round, there's no sharp edges on it, so don't worry about the back of your knuckles. And you just adjust that to fine tune your windage and then lock it in place like so. And the whole thing just clips in and out just like a standard camera would. Just locks in place like so. Elevation is standard wind up, wind down, locked in place with the camera, with the bipod there. So there's your standard. Sorry, I'm trying to line everything up. Wind that up and down, lock it in place with that. There's a certain amount of elevation using the pan up and down, but most people just get that horizontal, lock it in place, and then just use that as your elevation. Right, there we go, close up view. Right guys, so we're going to give this tactile sight a bit of a go. I've got it set up somewhere near where I think it should be. Now the first thing we're going to do, now I haven't got the proper foot brackets, so I'm just lining myself up against the railing, and I'm going to get myself in position. This is what you would do actually on the day if you were shooting. You'd line yourself up, get yourself set up properly, with your helper, getting yourself all set up. Right, so I'm lining it up off my middle knuckle. Got a bit of, there we go. Coming to full draw, lining it up on my top knuckle, sorry. And we're on the target. Right, so try another one. We're on the target again. Right, we'll try this with my eyes closed, shall we? I should have brought a blindfold out. See, when you're shooting VR at club level or competition level, most visually impaired shooters are required to shoot, if they're shooting VI, a V1. Oh, on the target. If you're shooting V1, everybody is required to wear a blindfold, basically to stop anybody who's got a little bit of vision like myself from gaining an advantage. Although I think I would be a V2 shooter, or if I am V1, I would actually choose to shoot V2, I think. But anyway, let's have another one. Eyes shut. Yep, and target again. So the system seems to work. Another one. This time I won't look at the target at all. Yeah, we're in this. Yeah, that's not bad going, I don't think. Right, so we'll do the same again. I won't look at the target. I'll look at towards the camera. I'll come to full draw, and I'll close my eyes and I'll turn my head to find my anchor before I lose the shot. So, come to full draw, find the tactile sight, closing my eyes, come to anchor. We're in the target again. So the system does work. I have to find So I have to get hold of some foot marking, some basically like the planks you would use to mark your feet out. But it seems as though the tactile sight itself works quite well. Pleased with that. I was a bit dubious, but yeah, it seems to work. Anyway, I'll tell you what we'll do. See, I've got no idea where those shots have actually went other than they're in the target. So we shall spin the camera around and let you guys have a look. Right. I'll have to put my glasses on while I find the target. I know it's around here somewhere. Ah, there it is. I shall zoom in. If I can find the zoom button. Can't find the zoom button. There we are. I can't see that at all. But anyway, you guys now know how well the tactile target works potentially, and I think once I get the peg loops for the tripod and the foot markers, I think we'll be okay for club shooting. Anyway guys, hope you found that interesting, and we'll talk again soon. Cheers now.